guys, welcome back to my channel. I recently noticed that my foundation was just always cakey, and no matter what I did, I would still have like patchiness on my forehead and especially underneath my eyes, and I had no idea what could be causing it. So I decided to test out a whole bunch of different methods and do some research into what could possibly be causing my cakey foundation. So I discovered my own tips and my own routine to keep my foundation from looking cakey. So if that's something that you are interested in, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first tips I have begin before you even think about putting on foundation. So I realized that you kind of have to have a smooth base underneath your foundation in order for your foundation to look smooth and flawless. I started doing a few things before I apply my foundation that have really helped to even out my skin tone and skin texture, so that way the foundation looks smooth and flawless when I apply it. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you wash your face before you apply your foundation every morning. This is just going to really help cleanse your skin, get rid of any excess oils, so that your foundation doesn't lift in the areas that are most oily, like in your T-zone. I like to also tone my skin. This is optional, but I just go in with witch hazel and just apply that directly to my skin. This is going to remove excess oils and kind of soothe your skin before you put on foundation so it's not red and irritated, and help to minimize the appearance of your pores as well. And I'm not going to go too in depth into my skincare in this video because I do want to make a dedicated video to my skincare, so that is why I'm kind of just giving you an overview of what I do. And then next I go in with serum. This is optional as well. Really the most important thing to do is wash your face and use moisturizer, but I like to go in with serum. This one was in my BoxyCharm last month, I believe, and it is the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum. This one has niacinamide in it, so it's really good at evening skin tone and texture, so I've been using this before makeup as well. But another thing that you need to do for sure is exfoliate, and I do this at night because this is actually a night serum, and when you do exfoliate your skin, it will make your skin more sensitive to sunlight, so you want to make sure that you don't do that in the morning, especially if you're going to go out and be in the sun all day. But what I've been using is the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow AHA Resurfacing Night Serum. I just put this on. It's a chemical exfoliant, so it will help to remove any dead skin that could be causing your foundation to not lay flat on your skin. Another thing you can do to kind of get rid of dry skin and that kind of stuff is called dermaplaning. I will link videos below that I watched in order to get into this. There was one by Tati and also one by Jenna Marbles that I really enjoyed, and that made me want to start doing this. So basically what you do is take a little razor like this. These ones are like $4 on Amazon, I think, for like 4 of them. And you just take it and like use it right on your skin, and I especially have a lot of flakiness right here, so that's where I like focus it, and it kind of just gets all the dry skin off, so that way your foundation is laying flat on your skin and it's not like picking up on any texture or anything like that. So, and then lastly, of course, moisturizing before I put on foundation. So next I go in with priming. Priming is super important for everybody because it creates a smooth base for your foundation to go on top of, and it also allows your foundation to stay on all day and not crease or fade away and all of that. So I've been going out with a couple different primers just because I have them, but I mean, you could obviously just go in with one and pick one that is best for whatever your needs are. So first I'm going in with this. This is the Touch and Soul No Problem Prime Essence. So this one is going to help diminish my pores, which is one of my big skin concerns. You kind of just want to focus on like what areas of your skin you notice getting cakey. So for me, it's always right here on my forehead and then also underneath my eyes. So those are the areas that I'm going to focus on. And then I'm going to go in with my Wander Beauty Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil, just because this is going to really hydrate my skin and ensure that there's no like flakes or anything like that that my foundation can pick up on. And using a primer just evens everything out so that your foundation doesn't like lift in certain areas and stick to certain areas. It just makes it all even and perfect. And then of course, if you have oily skin, you would want to go in with a more oil blocking primer, like say the Smashbox Photo Finish Minimize Pores primer or the Fenty Pro Filter Matte primer. Because I get so much cakiness underneath my eyes right here, I like to go in with my Becca Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer, and this just really helps with the cakiness right under my eyes here. Just literally take my finger and put it right underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows off of camera real quick, and then I'll come back to show how I apply foundation without making it cakey. Okay, so now I am back. My brows are all on and I'm ready to move into foundation. Obviously, it's important to create a smooth base with your skin before you apply your foundation, but I think this tip is pretty much the best thing that I discovered when I was trying to figure out why my foundation is so cakey. What I used to do is take foundation and just like dot it all over my face and blend it all in, because I thought that was going to give me the best coverage and make everything look the best, but that's actually what makes your foundation super cakey. So what you want to do is just take your foundation. I've been using the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation, 24-hour wear. You can pick whatever foundation you want. If you have dry skin, you may want to go with a more hydrating foundation. If you have oily skin, you may want to go with a more matte foundation. I'm kind of normal combination, so I like this foundation because it is a natural matte finish. So I literally just take on my hand 1-2 pumps. That's all that I use, and it looks like not a lot compared to what I used to use. And then I just go ahead and take a damp beauty blender. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this and focus it on the areas where I feel like I need the most coverage and try to avoid the areas that get super cakey as best as I can. So obviously I have some breakouts in this area, so that's where I'm going to start here. I want to make sure you blend down the neck as well. My foundation usually lifts off of my nose, so I'm going to go very light there. And obviously, like I said, I get super cakey right here, so I'm going to go light there as well. Kind of just try to place it on the areas where I need the most coverage. And again, underneath my eyes, I'm going to go light there because I get cakey there, and also because I will be applying concealer there as well. You can see I still have a bunch left and I already covered my entire face. So really, you don't need a ton of product. And you don't have to have the same amount of product like everywhere on your face. Like, you can go lighter on areas that are more dry or that you don't need as much coverage. So you might be wondering now, like, what happens if you still need more coverage in certain places. So what you want to do is just go ahead and wait for your foundation to dry. That way it's like you're creating another layer rather than adding a whole bunch of product to make it look cakey. So I'm just taking one more pump here, and once my foundation is dried, I'm just going to go ahead and pat on just the areas that need a little bit more coverage. And this is a medium coverage foundation, so it's not going to cover everything, but there we go. And you'll probably notice like immediately that your foundation looks a lot smoother on your skin. Okay, so now we're going to go in with concealer. I'm going in with my Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless 24-hour concealer. I'm using the shade of Fair Neutral because I want to highlight a little bit. You may have seen in some of my past videos, and also a ton of other beauty videos, people going in and doing a huge triangle of concealer underneath their eyes. That's kind of the right concept, but it's a little bit too much. So what I've discovered is if you just kind of take a tiny bit of concealer, you really don't need a lot. I'm going to avoid right here as well, just because that's where I get the most cakey, but I'm still going to highlight my chin. You just need a little bit of concealer, and then you can go in with your beauty blender, and you want to blend it out still in that triangle motion, because that is how light hits you, but you really don't need the concealer like that when you first apply it, as long as you blend it out that way, and then you're not applying a ton of product that's going to get super cakey. So you can see how it's kind of blended out, and I'm going in that motion like that. And then if you do need a little bit more coverage on certain breakouts, you can just take your concealer, preferably one that's closer to your skin tone and not a highlighting one like I'm using, but just take your concealer, dab it on your breakout, and let it sit there for a little bit so that it can kind of thicken. So that way when you blend it out, it won't just completely spread out. It will stay on the blemish and actually cover it up. And then you don't need to use a whole bunch of layers of product and cause a lot of cakiness. Okay, so we're done with that. Next, I'm going to go in with powder. This is going to be different for everyone, but I have kind of more normal skin to a little bit on the drier side. So I like to go in with a powder that's going to be hydrating and lightweight, whereas if you were someone who has oily skin, you might want to go with one that's not hydrating. But what I've been using is the Becca Hydro Mist Set and Refresh powder, which is this one right here. It's very lightweight, and it is mostly water, so it's not going to be super dry and just look like there's powder right on top of my skin. It's going to melt right in. And there's really no need to bake on just like a regular day-to-day basis, but I like to just press the powder right in to where I applied the concealer or the most foundation, and it's just going to kind of create like an airbrushed effect here without getting too cakey. And then you can just go ahead and everywhere else just do a little light layer of powder to kind of set everything down. So that's it for the base. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the completed makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys try out any of these tips to keep your foundation from looking cakey, or if you guys have any other tips that I didn't mention that work for you. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified when I upload future videos. And yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.